to the Practice Room Explained. Today, we are not looking for a magic embouchure or promising a high note in 3 days. We are opening Gene Young's Embouchure Enlightenment, a trumpet guide about range, tone, endurance, and articulation.
Its central idea is reassuring. Better trumpet playing is not mainly about squeezing the lips tighter or pressing the mouthpiece harder. A stable sound comes from several things working together: steady air, lips that can vibrate freely, an open throat, and enough support from the body.
So, I cannot reach it, so I should blow harder, is the first myth?
Exactly. Moving upward does require faster air and more support, but the opening between the lips, the aperture, must also respond and become more focused. If you only blast more air and force the lips apart, you lose the vibrating surface. The sound may spread, crack, or vanish. Think of whistling. Air and opening have to cooperate.
That makes the embouchure less like a fixed pose and more like a response.
Yes. Young suggests a gentle experiment called a reference embouchure. Put the mouthpiece in a comfortable, balanced place. Take a full breath. Let air move through without rushing to make a note. This is not an order to rebuild your face overnight. It is a mirror. It shows which muscles join in naturally when air is supported, and where you may be too loose, too tight, or too dependent on pressure.
So the real question is not, do I have the standard face? It is, when does my own face respond freely?
Exactly. The book discourages sudden, extreme changes. Instead, listen carefully. Notice whether the start of the note is reliable. Feel whether air is continuous. Give the supporting muscles time to become dependable.
And support does not mean lifting the shoulders, holding the breath, or turning the stomach into a brick.
No. Young begins with relaxed, expanded breathing. Keep the shoulders low. During inhalation, allow the lower abdomen and lower back to widen. Support is not a blockage in the throat. It is a stable air column helped by the lower body. The goal is a continuous path from breath to lips.
Why does the book use an open ah feeling?
It is a self-check. A comfortable ah can reveal unnecessary throat tension. Trumpet playing is not singing, but that openness is useful. Avoid filling up, freezing, then attacking the first note with the tongue.
So a good attack is not hit the note. It is let the note begin.
Right. Prepare breath, embouchure, and support. When the lips begin to vibrate, air should sustain them immediately. Stable mouthpiece contact is normal. The problem is using pressure as a substitute for support. When tired or nervous about range, players press harder, pin the lips down, and make free response more difficult.
Now for high notes. Young's approach is calm. High range is not a heroic test. It is a gradual way of dealing with resistance.
Exactly. The middle register should feel manageable first. The book describes stable levels, or platforms. Once you reach one, keep the useful setup you have established. Before moving up, anticipate more resistance. Let airspeed and body support arrive first. Then let the embouchure respond. Do not rebuild your face for every note.
What does arrive first mean in practice?
Imagine you are not jumping over a wall. You are taking a small run-up. In a slur, air begins to accelerate before the pitch changes. Support prepares. Then the lips respond. You do not need to twist the mouth, pull the corners, rotate the instrument, or force the tongue backward to squeeze out a higher note. Those deliberate motions often add tension and slow response.
What is the quick high note checklist?
5 questions. Is the aperture focused enough? Can the muscles around the mouth hold that focus calmly? Is body support present? Has airspeed increased? Is the throat still open? If one link is missing, players often compensate with too much mouthpiece pressure. That makes free lip vibration and endurance harder.
Many students think endurance means strong face muscles.
Young treats endurance as coordination, not brute force. If you overwork in the middle register, no reserve remains for demanding range. Let air support sound comfortably in the middle, then add more lower body assistance only as resistance increases. That keeps tension from building in the throat and lips.
What about the player who comes down, relaxes, and cannot go back up?
The book calls this avoiding collapse. Coming down may need less support, but it does not mean letting the whole setup fall apart. Think of a spring releasing gradually, not a rubber band snapping. Keep a basic setting that can still respond.
And after one missed high note, should we try it 10 more times?
No. Diagnose first. Was air interrupted? Did the throat close? Did the aperture lose focus? Did support run out? Did pressure take over? A thoughtful half hour is usually worth more than hours of blind forcing. Return to a stable middle note, play a connected short slur, then move upward in small steps. Expand only while air, tone, and physical sensation stay coordinated.
Our last topic is articulation. One sentence from the book is worth remembering. The tongue does not create the sound.
Exactly. The engine is still air and lip vibration. The tongue gives each note a clear beginning. If you treat it like a hammer, the result can be hard, explosive, and likely to crack in the upper register. A better sensation is that air is already moving, and the tongue makes a clear boundary without blocking the flow.
That explains why the book asks us to work on long tones and slurs without the tongue before adding articulation.
Yes. First, make sure tone, air, throat, and support are open without tonguing. When you add the tongue, those conditions should stay basically the same. If sound suddenly shrinks, catches, or splits, the issue may not be tongue speed. The tongue may be closing an airstream that was already working.
Young also describes two different kinds of staccato.
One is fuller orchestral articulation, where every note receives complete support. The other is a lighter, faster style, in which the tongue seems to float on a continuous airstream. They look different, but share the same foundation. Air does not stop, and the tongue does not take over as the source of energy.
Does that change how we think about double and triple tonguing?
Very much. First, imagine the passage as a continuous, connected sound. Then let the tongue add rhythmic punctuation. Do not make every note a separate, tiny explosion. At a slow tempo, establish even air and a stable movement pattern. As speed grows, clarity can emerge. The harder and faster the passage, the less you can afford to shrink the air.
That sounds like the philosophy of the whole book.
It is. First, build the conditions for free sound, then add technique. Find coordination before chasing power. Practice slowly enough to observe, then add speed and range. Tone, intonation, phrasing, and control should not be sacrificed for a few extreme notes or the fastest possible articulation.
If someone has only 5 minutes today, what should they do?
Start with a few quiet, relaxed expansion breaths. Then play a few long tones without tonguing and listen for a centered sound. Next, play small, slow slurs and notice whether the lips respond naturally. Finally, add light, clear articulation and compare the sound before and after the tongue enters. Make comfort, repeatability, and a full tone the priority, not one dramatic high note or one fast pattern.
Let us end with 3 reminders. First, for high notes, ask whether air and aperture are cooperating before asking whether you need more force. Second, put support in breathing and the lower body and leave room in the throat. Pressure is not a shortcut to stability. Third, connect the sound first, then let the tongue shape its outline. Start today with a comfortable breath, an open ah, and one unhurried long tone. Thanks for listening to the Practice Room Explained. See you next time.